What's up, you nerds? Welcome back to Yellow Spandex. This week we talked about Wonder Woman and Ghostbusters trailers just dropped, and oh my gosh, we watched both and we talk about that. That was really cool. Possible replacement for Superman, David Corenswet. I don't know how to say his name. There's also a good conversation about corn. Stay tuned for that. Also, Crisis on Infinite Earth. We talk about that for a little bit, and then there's like a big section of just like verbal cow manure where we just go all over the place. So that was fun. And then we jump back in with Stargirl, very short-lived Stargirl, and finish off a little bit of the Rage Room combo. So stick around for all of that right here on Yellow Spandex coming up next.
All right, what do you want to hit first? I mean, this week was like trailers,
man. Like, I don't know.
Trailers.
I think I don't know. I'd love to talk about the trailers, like Wonder Woman and Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Neither seemed disappointing at all.
No,
I haven't seen either of those.
You haven't seen either?
Oh, stop and watch them?
We're gonna pause it and we're gonna watch the trailers for Vince here. Hold on, guys. And we're back.
So that was the Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it doesn't look disappointing this time around. well, because they followed the thing. I think that everybody had kind of wished that they would just do it as like a successor to the original Ghostbusters.
Is what they should have done. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could have had the original guys like kind of this like this, because when you roll into this, like it seems everybody's retired and kind of moved on, and Herod Ramus Egon had died, and so it could have been the same way. They would have been like rolled up like, what's this? Oh, and they figure it out there. And it would have been like, and that's kind of what they build it as too, remember? Like the first trailer, I think, said like something like talked about, had like a little line in the front of it, like a little caption at the bottom saying like, you know, something about what happened in the 80s or something. I can't remember.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, so, I dig that the whole thing is like kids these days don't know what happened in the 80s, you know? Like, kind of thing. And anything that references like to the 80s, and you have Stranger Things kids in it.
I love any movie that digs up technology from the past and uses it for some plot in the future.
Or they like
or
wipe
in the
it
present.
off like, oh, it's dusty.
Part, yeah. I mean, of course, there's like nostalgic feelings and everything like that, but just alone, like the sci-fi feelings of like a kid finding this old trap, you know, and like not really knowing what it is, and then you have that old dude that's like, oh, this is a great replica, you know. I think that's just like a really cool plot line.
I hope that they didn't like pull up the YouTube video or something to show, because I'm like, who's transcribing videos? Like, I guess maybe if it's something that big, maybe.
There's lots of stuff from like, you know.
Well, I just like the idea of like he had to show them like an archival thing. That's why, because if it was on YouTube, the kids would have known, you know.
Well, if like it seemed like the ghosts have been gone for like 30 years,
yeah.
Right?
But even then though, like I feel like, you know, so I feel like your kids would know if there were ghosts in the 80s, you know, like running amok in New York and stuff. Like that would have been like in the textbooks, like, you know,
like Thor is not my, you know, when they said like, oh, I learned about Thor in my textbook now or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But Spider-Man was
but
that?
If they just kind of like, it kind of happened isolated like in Manhattan, and then there's like archival footage but no like YouTube videos uploaded, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like kids might not like know about that if it's not on YouTube or TikTok.
Which is funny too, because like, oh, we haven't had a ghost sighting in like 30 years or something. It's like, so we're ghosts only in Manhattan? Like, there's no ghosts around the world?
It's interesting.
I gotta remember the plots of the original ones. If it wasn't something to the effect of like they were all like unsettled or something, right? Wasn't that because they all had to do with
caught in between.
They all had to do with that the beam in the sky thing. So maybe it was like that specific thing. Or like the ghosts that are around now are just like spirits.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of the stuff too is like it's definitely a callback. It's a callback to, you know, being like you got Spangler or whatnot too, and his grandson figuring stuff out. You got all the old stuff. You got the Ecto-1, but not even just that. We got Goofy Guy. You know, you know, somewhat funny Goofy Guy Paul Rudd is kind of like taking over like the Bill Murray aspect. You know,
he'd be proud of that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, in the movie at least, he's the Goofy Guy. But yeah, I mean, it's another thing that's weird is it's all the other movies were like in Manhattan in a city. This is out in the middle of nowhere.
I didn't see where.
Kind of a feel.
Yeah, if it was like upstate New York or if it was like
I don't know,
somewhere in Connecticut. I was trying to see the map, but I didn't realize or I couldn't recognize.
Yeah, they just said like the house in the middle of nowhere or something.
Yeah, well, he had a map of the tectonic plates or whatever.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, there's obvious like clues to tell you where they are, but my favorite part of the trailer so far is that The Ecto one has a gunner seat.
Yeah, that's definitely awesome.
Because I don't even remember it probably, but I don't remember that being a thing in the original movies. I remember the toy had that gunner seat, but I don't think they ever used that in the movies.
I don't think they used it in the first movie.
Maybe a second.
I think they
movie?
moved.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the second as many times as the first one.
I must have thought it was like a ceiling turret instead of like a pop out of the side of the chair thing.
I think I do remember it doing that, or like you said, it was like a toy.
It's definitely in the toys. I'm trying to remember if it was in.
But that's pretty gnarly.
The second movie, when I was little, I was scared of. Like, it was a
Really?
lot
Yeah.
creepier than the first movie.
Yeah.
Plus, you got like that big, like hulking looking evil dude trying to replace the kid.
Yeah.
That kind of scares you as a kid, I feel like.
What was it, Zod or
It wasn't Zod. I can't remember his name.
Zool?
Azul was the first one. The second one was like some weird warrior.
The Keymaster.
Yeah. I'm the gatekeeper.
The Gatekeeper.
I'm the keymaster. Ooh. I think we talked about it before too, to where like I didn't realize in the second movie the baby was actually like Rick Moranis's kid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And I was
that.
like, wait a minute, what? Like,
That's right. Some weirdness. Very weird.
I know Dan Aykroyd's going to be in this movie because he talked a little bit about it on Rogan, but I don't know about the other guys. Like, I know Ernie Reyes is probably.
They say Bill's in as well.
They said Bill's in it?
Who knows if he'll show up or not?
Maybe not the last minute, maybe only in a cameo.
I don't know. Yeah. It's all up to Bill.
Yeah.
He runs on his own schedule.
I couldn't remember who was holding up the last one because I know that Ramis wanted to get it off the ground.
The women's one?
No, before the women's one,
Yeah.
there had been pressure for a long time
For another film? Oh, wow.
And I think it was kind of before all this kind of nostalgia 80s stuff kind of kicked back in, before Stranger Things.
I just
and
remember the
everything else.
Harold Ramis bust of like Egon in the female version. That was how they like
Oh, I didn't know that.
paid homage to that. And Bill was in that one too, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he got killed like immediately.
He got pushed.
But he wasn't Bill. He was just like some random.
He was like a
other guy.
doctor or something.
Yeah, oh yeah,
or
all
like
all four of the original Ghostbusters like made a cameo.
Yeah.
Well, not Ramis.
The
He was
actors.
dead.
Well,
Yeah,
his
he was
bust.
the bust,
That was
yeah.
the reason they put it in there. Was the bust.
And then the other guy was a taxi driver, Winston.
Winston. I love that part in Stranger Season.
Nobody
Stranger
wants
Things
to be Winston.
Exactly. Nobody wants to be. Why am I supposed to be Winston? Because I'm black.
The have you watched Beyond Stranger Things?
No, I haven't yet.
So
We
it's
just finished this third season the other day.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Well, this is only after the second season.
Oh, okay.
But they talk about like they specifically wrote that dialogue because they were like that's the conversation every kid had at Halloween. They're like nobody wants to be Winston, like everybody wants to be Venkman.
I was the same. I feel that way a little bit with Donatello. Nobody wants to
yeah.
be Donatello. I mean, like he's still cool because he's got the staff. I guess that's the only reason you
And
want to be
he's
Donnie.
like genius. He's a mechanical genius.
We used to play around like that all the time because I don't know if you can still buy them, but you used to just like openly be able to buy nunchucks. Like in India, we're from Indiana.
Oh
so,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I have pairs at home.
Do you have them?
Yeah,
Well,
somewhere.
I don't think you're allowed to buy them out here in California.
I also have like a
illegal.
real katana,
Yeah.
and they're not supposed to sell those either.
I
So
remember having
sweet.
those plastic ones when I was a kid. Not even Ninja Turtle ones, just anywhere.
Yeah.
That hurt like almost as much. You know, they weren't solid, obviously, but so they smack you. You know, like
I definitely broke a couple pairs of those.
yeah.
Because like you'd hit trees or whatever it was, and
They just explode.
yeah, because it's plastic.
I was talking about
Right.
the wooden ones, the cheap wooden,
the wooden
ones.
ones.
If you hit them on stuff, they would just explode.
Oh wow, so it's like a bat
Yeah,
breaking a bat.
But yeah, I'm
without the recoil.
I'm really
jazzed
excited about
for
this.
this. I also wonder, well, like it's titled Afterlife, and I feel like most people usually kind of like don't see the meaning of the titles until like after the fact. So I don't know if this is like an allusion to like bringing somebody back or like I hope they don't bring Egon back as a CGI
Egon?
ghost.
CGI ghost.
Because
That
I
would suck.
I think I don't know. I have no doubt that in the future it's going to be commonplace because they're doing that James Dean movie now or whatever with him in it. And right now though, it just doesn't sit well
No.
with me. Like it's just like, oh, you didn't make a decision to be part of that, and it's like not good yet. You know, like it's so weird.
Yeah, it'd be a weird choice. It looks really cool. I like the way it's kind of like brown. Like kind of the film is really kind of like a
That's the thing. I actually try to look up see if the
Unsaturated,
gunner
maybe?
seat was used
Yeah.
in the previous Ghostbusters films, and I can't tell the difference between the stills of the original and this one.
oh,
Because
weird.
they had it. It's not that the resolution is not the same. Like it's just like the color treatment. It's like is that from the Ghostbusters too, or is
that film that from they had in the 80s? Just I feel like is less saturated than we have nowadays. We have so much with digital. It's just like saturate the crap out of it. You know, like
it's cool though because they have that filter, but then the ghosts are all these like very bright, illuminant colors.
It's just very cool. Makes it jump out, which is better. Better than 3D.
Yeah,
I don't really like 3D when that stuff happens.
Their layers are highly saturated.
I kind of like have been paying ever since being in LA, paying attention more to like set design and stuff. And I was just watching the special features from The Greatest Showman because it was on like Black Friday sale for like $3 at Walmart.
Yeah.
And they had mentioned the set director and the costuming had coordinated so that the sets never had reds or blues. And then all the costuming always had like bold colors so that like when you put the actors into the scene, like they just naturally popped before any color correction and stuff. It was like really interesting.
That's cool.
Like
it's a smart idea. I like Finn Wolfhard being in it. I mean, like he kind of, I feel like it put that kid in the movie and it gives it a feel. Gives it a feel of like either being spooky just because of all the stuff he's been in.
Any of the kids from Stranger Things, like from the level of star power they have, like down is like the amount of nostalgia you're gonna get by putting them in the other properties.
Yeah,
they put Millie Bobby Brown in like Godzilla. You're like, oh, this is gonna be good. Has
Dustin been in anything? That kid's Dustin.
Gaten is a Broadway actor, so he's been in like plays.
Oh, okay. I feel like he hasn't been in anything, and I love that kid.
He has some Netflix show, but I haven't watched it. I just saw his face on it, and I thought it was a Stranger Things like podcast or something, but it's some other show he has. I think it's a prank show or something.
Oh, weird.
I don't know. It's not like a TV show, like a drama thing or anything. But yeah, no, he's great. Supposedly, he was the first person ever cast for Stranger Things.
That would make sense.
Like they had gotten these tapes in, and his character was a blank slate, and then they met him, and they're like, "We're going to write this character around this kid."
Yeah, which they did. Yeah.
So they said everybody else chemistry tested against him.
That's kind of weird. I'm like, hey, you got to work with me. Nobody knows me.
Yeah.
It's a cool spot to be in.
Yeah, I like the little kid too with the glasses. He really looks like Egon.
Yeah, I mean they
So
they did a really good job. I mean, I knew immediately. It's like, oh, that's Ramus's kid or grandkid.
Like, even before this trailer came out, we talked. I think there was some leak or something, maybe even from this trailer, that had said like, oh, it's probably going to be about his kids or whatever. They find the stuff, and definitely he shows up in the trailer. Like, boom, like, oh. It's truth. That's what it is.
It's so wild because I don't know if the director, like the production staff, was listening or something, but that was one of the most common criticisms I heard about the all-female Ghostbusters. It's like, why wasn't Kate McKinnon like Egon's granddaughter or something? There would have been like little ties to that. Like, and why did they have to rediscover ghosts? Why couldn't they just like unearth everything? It's like all the criticisms like are what that trailer showed.
Yeah,
like the kids are finding stuff.
Yeah,
yeah, that's pretty crazy. So, yeah, I wonder what Afterlife will be. Like what the meaning will be behind that.
And this is like since this is the first real trailer, I wonder how many other people are in the movie and how much of them are in the movie.
Yeah. When's this coming out? 2020 or?
I imagine it's next year sometime.
It looks like a summer film. Unless it's really good, then it'll be Christmas.
I don't know.
Did it say at the end of the trailer?
Maybe. Hold on. Summer 2020 is what it says.
Yeah, and I think that's the same for Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah. Yeah, summer 2020. So they haven't. Wow, that's weird that they haven't picked a date yet.
I'm a big Paul Rudd fan in movies. I haven't seen any because I know he's got that show on Netflix now.
Oh yeah, I wanted to watch that.
But I'm afraid to watch it because I have this like picture of Paul in movies, so I don't know if I'm gonna like him in TV.
He was great in Friends.
Yeah, that's true.
That's where a lot of us fell in love with him first time. Like, oh, you should stay with him.
It's funny. I think I listened to his podcast on Conan O'Brien's podcast the other day, and it's just funny to listen to him talk about that because every time he goes on Conan O'Brien and he has a movie, he doesn't show a clip from that movie. He says like, yeah, here's the clip from this movie, and then he shows a clip from Mac and Me.
That's
every
funny.
Single time. He's done it like 20-something odd times.
That's so funny.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And apparently Judd Apatow, for whatever movie he was in with him the first time, was like, you can't do that. And he came onto the set and like forced him to like show the real movie the first time. And then after the first time, people were like, why didn't he show this or that? And then Judd Apatow at that other movie afterwards was like, fine, you can show the stupid Mac and Me clip. Like, so it's just a funny thing every time he does.
Oh yeah, I also heard that the original secretary of the movie Ghostbusters is going to be in this new one as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the whole central cast or whatever.
But there's not going to be any Rick Moranis. At least not that I've heard.
Yeah, what if that's like the big like reveal. They got him for like 5 seconds one day.
That'd be cool. I mean, I had listened
Even
to
Sigourney will be in this, I think, too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I hope they're all. I know that Aykroyd said, "Oh yeah, everybody's coming back," kind of like as like just off the cuff thing, and I'm like,
can't trust that dude.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I trust Aykroyd from after listening to him on Rogan.
Did you see Movies of Tomatoes yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh,
you were telling me about it last week, though. I gotta see it.
Oh, you were serious about this.
No, bro. You don't want to go for real for this. Let's just make it a comedy.
Yeah. This is a going into business story.
Oh,
sure.
Man. He's just a weirdo.
I would love to have read that original script, though.
Me too.
Well, they said it was about like how there's Ghostbusters were like a dime a dozen, and it was in outer space. It was like a regular thing.
Yeah,
That's a lot of money you'd have to put down.
Sci-fi space
That probably was like one of the
80s.
things. There was not a friend, like another YouTuber that we were familiar with that had a film screening, and it happens like in the Arctic. And we happened to be sitting at a dinner table with like the producers of the film. They're like, "Yeah, this was originally on Mars, but we were like, A, go watch a Martian. B, we can't do this budget. But if we do Antarctica, it'd be like a quarter of the budget."
It's funny because whenever you go to any like planet, whether it be Star Wars or whatever it is, it's like, oh, we accidentally landed in the desert part of the planet, so they can film in Arizona or something.
Have you kept up with The Mandalorian?
Yeah.
God, so good.
Every Friday.
And we finally got to see Ming-Na Wen.
Oh, that's true. She was in so small,
little.
Yeah.
As soon as he like shot her, I was like, that was it?
Yeah.
But I guess now they found her, so maybe
I don't know. She's still not dead.
dead
I don't
somehow.
know.
We don't know anything. But
We don't know who picked her up.
There's
People
alien
keep-
races. Like,
Right.
Some people saying like, oh, it could be Boba Fett or something. Like, I don't know if it's that. I think it's Bill Burr.
that's funny.
I don't know.
Bill Burr.
Oh yeah, because he's still supposed to be in it, and there's only
Exactly.
3 more episodes left.
Yeah.
I want to see that wrestling chick come back.
Oh, Gina
Yeah.
Carano. I can't remember. If
Gina,
it's-
I think that's it.
I
Yeah.
don't know how to say it right. But yeah, I definitely liked her character. She was fun, but I don't think she's coming back. I think I talked to somebody online the other day about it, and one of the reasons that I like it is really, I don't know if I said this last week, but it's kind of like got the pacing of like a samurai story to where like it's just like a wandering dude kind of looking to protect the area, kind of just wandering around being
It's like Kwai Chang Kane
a little
from
bit.
Kung Fu.
Yeah. Or, I've been reading a lot of the Usagi Yojimbo, and it's exactly like that.
Yeah,
To
a
where he's
Ronin.
like, I'm just on my way to do this, and then like he just runs into paths and protects people.
I have no master.
Yep.
I'm a
Like
Ronin.
his lord was killed, and so he doesn't have one anymore. Which I love. I don't know if you guys.
All the lore is awesome.
I probably said this last time too. I can't remember anything anymore. But like, if you guys have like teenager kids, like Usagi Yojimbo is a great comic for them to read because it not only is like awesome, has some fighting stuff, it's fun. He crosses over Ninja Turtles every once in a while, but it teaches them a lot of like about like Japanese
Like
history and lore and culture. Yeah, so it's fun.
and more philosophically, it kind of teaches you where the trust is with like meeting new people. Like every time Usagi met there was always like tests and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like, or like he would closely watch the other person's decisions in battle, stuff like that. Like I don't know.
That's kind of like that story of the guy interviewing a new employee, and then he sees he steals like a butter pat at lunch, and he doesn't hire him because if you're going to steal a 50-cent thing of butter, then you'll steal from me.
Yeah,
Stealing a butter pat.
Usagi.
You
man.
don't.
Well, that's also one of those things that
True
like
samurai.
I was like, why even would you do that? Like, it's like little things. It's like, okay. Also, like it's just there's so many things. Even if you were like that, why in the presence?
yeah,
Yeah.
Like any of that stuff. Like,
So weird.
it was a good something of judgment, whatever that phrase is.
but in this last episode of The Mandalorian, there was Amy Sedaris. I thought that was her, and then the credits rolled. And she was a bunch of weird characters in. I don't know if she was in SNL, but a lot of sketch stuff. But she was the mechanic
Oh yeah.
and stuff. So she was so funny. I was like, man, that looks like Amy Sedaris, but it's not quite like. But I also realized I hadn't seen her in a long time, so she'd gotten older, and they also dressed her up, to be this role or whatever. But I don't know.
I wonder if Finn knew that, like, he's putting on in Stranger Things, like you had mentioned before, he's putting on the Ghostbusters outfit, and now he's in Ghostbusters. I wonder
Oh, that is weird.
if he knew around the time that they had
Last
shot
season
that
2 though, they shot that 2
a
years
long time ago.
at least.
But this movie also could have been in the works for that long as well.
They probably. He probably didn't know, but somebody was probably like, oh yeah, that works. They like
should
looked
get
at
that
that.
Yeah.
Well, also, like,
he's hot right now
Well,
too. I guess.
Him and Millie, like Millie Bobby Brown has become like not our generation, like our kids' generation's Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
Like she's Ghostbusters, Aliens. Like I think you put Millie Bobby Brown in any of those sci-fi
Yes.
things.
It works, yeah.
And she's
She's got that. I can't remember. Is it it's not Linda Carter. What's Linda Hamilton? I think the girl who was in Terminator. At least the first two.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
She's like the badass sci-fi
Yeah.
gal. And then Finn Wolfhard. Yeah, like it's funny seeing him in this. It's like he has just grown up to be like he's doing like the stylized hair and like they're not trying to like play him down in this one because in Stranger Things he's obviously like played as younger, but then in It too they like de-aged him.
Yeah.
And stuff. So like now we're like, oh wow, I guess he's probably grown up like at a normal pace, but then we're seeing like a 5-year jump between reshoots and like the de-aging and all that stuff.
Did you see that pitch meeting for the second one?
Yeah.
Where they're like, hey, we're gonna de-age all these kids, and they're like, how's it gonna look? A little weird.
Yeah. You know what's weird though? When I saw it in the theaters, I didn't notice it, and then when someone mentioned it, I'm like, no. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was because you were just like already like watching a killer clown and all this like crazy stuff happening, and it just was like not in my thinking, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the next trailer is Wonder Woman,
Yeah,
1984. So this is wild. So our friend Mari was out in Brazil doing like a press thing for this and Birds of Prey, and I actually saw the debut of this trailer on her Instagram stories. They had done like a brand deal with Mari to like put the trailer on her Instagram story.
Oh, cool.
And then her little commentary on the top and the bottom borders. But this, between 80s stuff being really hot right now and the soundtrack being awesome, now we're seeing like a Wonder Woman that's like knows the world. And so she's walking, so she's no longer what is this? What is this? What is this? You know, she's like, it's kind of funny because with Steve coming back, he's showing her, I know she's showing him. Like all the world, but
Steve's back.
But yeah, watch this because
he hasn't seen it yet.
well, I mean, everybody knew that before.
Well, yeah, we talk about it a little bit.
But like, I don't know. See if you can. I couldn't figure out how he was back, but maybe that's part of the trailer.
Yeah, hold on. We're gonna pause it, guys, and Vince is gonna watch this for the first time.
Yeah.
And we're back.
I love the Prodigy song. Is that what it was? Prodigy?
No, it's not Prodigy.
No.
You feel like I do. It was 9 Inch Nails or what is it? How do I? But they missed the last two notes because it's
Yeah, Prodigy wasn't until 90s, right? But the lassoing the lightning, I was like, yes.
I didn't even see that.
Well, she was like going through the storm and she was lassoing the lightning and like swinging from the lightning.
Huh?
Play it back. That scene was so awesome.
It's totally. It better have ride the lightning or something when she's doing that. I don't know.
Also, like the hits in that Prodigy song, the way they cut that trailer together, every like drum hit, or not every drum hit, but that fill each time had a specific video that happened with it. Like the second time, it was a machine gun.
New Order.
Yeah, it's the original version of the orgy cover.
Oh, Blue Monday.
Yeah, but not like a lot of us know the orgy version because it was 90s. But this was the original.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what I say. The soundtrack's killer.
Yeah.
Do you still have the end of that trailer where she's like lassos the lightning and like starts?
Hold on, I'll play it here for.
I think it was before that.
Before that, hold on.
There it is. All right, watch this. See, she's lasso, swing.
What the heck?
Lasso, swing. That's amazing.
Like this, and this thing too. Like
she's got the
gold
eagle suit. Yeah,
I have no idea about what any of that is.
That's kind of like a throwback to like Kingdom Come or whatever, like a comic
book.
Yeah.
Wow.
So probably gonna have to wear that when she goes up against the bad guy, who's Maxwell Lord. He's kind of like a Lex Luthor
80s
character. No,
just
not 80s.
Not him
Not
again.
again, please. And we got Cheetah. And I don't know much about DC, but I'm pretty positive that Cheetah got her powers from like an ancient something or other.
You know what's so funny?
Which looks like it might be what he's holding on to.
I posted that photo on Instagram a long time ago.
So this Cheetah one?
And people on Instagram were all... What's that? Oh,
there you go.
Oh, Naomi jumps in.
Yeah, I took this photo and said it was Chitara, and then it was a Wonder Woman Thundercats crossover, and people were like, "Where did you find this? This is crazy." They thought it was real because it does look like Chitara, like a version of Chitara. I wonder if I still have that. But that was so long ago that I posted that, which means that this movie has been filmed probably since the first one.
Well, we still don't know if it was from the movie, right? It might have just been concept.
For what?
Something.
The Cheeto chick.
No, she's in it.
Yeah,
Cheetah's
no,
in
but
it.
the screenshot that he has.
Oh yeah,
It's the
that's
same
not real.
picture as that, unless that was a fake one as well.
Yeah, because Cheetah wasn't in the trailer, right?
She was the Kristen Wiig,
Yeah, but not as
Cheetah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny because I didn't know what it was from or anything. I was just making shit up.
But it looks awesome. I mean, I love the aesthetic. I love the 80s.
Yeah.
It almost looks like they shot in the same mall, Stranger Things 3.
They
Maybe.
shot in Virginia.
Okay.
Because actually, it's funny. The only reason I know that is an old high school friend of mine was like, it's posted an article about where they filmed Wonder Woman, and was like, it was like, how did I not know they filmed in my hometown mall? And it was somewhere in Virginia. It's kind of sad, but also like kind of cool. But all the 80s stuff becoming hot right now, like having the mall being the center of it immediately wins most people over. Like having the mall in Stranger Things, having the mall in Wonder Woman, because like it's going to be hard to explain to like your kids and stuff like what the mall was like when we
the
were
mall
kids.
came about.
Yeah, because we were at the beginning and the height and the end, and like so. But now they're all dead, so you can film in them freely because they're not making any money.
A lot of them are, especially. What's weird is I think they played it up a little bit in the Stranger Things show. But I think in the 70s, the government was giving like, hey, you can have, here's some extra money and go make a mall. Like they wanted to kind of help.
Make a mall.
It was pretty much, they wanted to go out to places like, Hawkins or something where it was like a smaller area and like, let's bring a mall to that area. So it brings people here.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they gave a lot of money for that. And so that's why they kind of pumped it all up. And then a lot of them have died off since.
Yeah, well, I think, I know like a lot of like online stuff and everything, but like the recession was like the nail in the coffin, where it's just like the mall like depended on it's like expendable income, like arcades, everything, like everything was a waste of money, literally.
Yeah.
But it was just a nice atmosphere. Like they're pretty extravagant. Like you think of like the highest end was probably like Mall of America, not highest end, like most gratuitous was Mall of America. Tyson's Corner has like a really frou-frou mall that's high end, but it's not like the most glorious.
We went to Mall of America last year.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it was actually pretty fun. Still, they actually
have the
turned
rides.
it to all the rides is Nickelodeon now, and so that's pretty much like their own little tiny theme park.
That's cool.
Cray.
But yeah, like I don't know, just so having those spaces. But I think the Stranger Things mall was even half open. They filmed in a part that was closed.
Oh, I thought it was closed off completely.
No, they still open now, and they actually recreated every store and the insides in case they needed to like reshoot and stuff. And they said they didn't use a lot of it.
Yeah,
they just had it so they could go through different things. But a few different people, like I think one of the extras from Stranger Things who lives in Georgia is a YouTuber. And like a year later, he was out of his NDA and like walked through the mall and showed everything, talked about his experience. And then our friend Romina lives in Atlanta. She did a walkthrough of the mall and stuff. Like, I think a couple people.
So security guards aren't very much there, right?
Well, so I think now it's, I forget what it was like when it was filming. Obviously, there's nobody allowed there. But then I think the week or two after, or sometime after they got done filming, some people snuck in and got footage because it was just barriers.
Yeah.
But then they had to kind of be like, kind of discreet. Like, because I don't know, it was interesting, but they said they rebuilt every store in there so they could freely shoot. It's the biggest show on Netflix.
Well, I'd imagine also if you just kind of had like able to go in whenever you wanted, it'd be a little bit like they just people coming in for souvenir hunting,
Yeah.
Because I went to, it was a Deadwood last year, and they said, this is where Calamity Jane and Wild Bill Hickok, all these like Wild West characters were buried, and like I guess all their tombstones and everything that have been there has been like so picked apart so many different times. Like grave robbers just come in and like, I want this cool statue. I'm gonna take it in, like destroy it and take it home.
I didn't know that's where they were buried.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But so I imagine that would be the same thing going there. Like, I want to go to get me a piece of Stranger Things. Scoops her boy. Woo!
Just take a picture and go home.
No, I gotta do it in a southern accent for some weird reason.
Yeehaw! But yeah, having that in like having them all be one of the places is awesome. Like lassoing that thunder, man, or like lightning, such a cool visual. Like I'm just glad that they just did away with like none of this is gonna be real. Let's just have a good time.
Yeah.
Like also, I forget the original like quote unquote continuity, but this looks like it throws it all away. Like because it wasn't the original idea in Justice League that like Wonder Woman's first story happened, and then she was not heard of
She
or
didn't do
seen
anything
until the Steppenwolf happened.
Yeah.
So this is like, well, clearly something else happened in the middle, but they're just like, you know what, that just didn't happen.
I mean,
Justice League doesn't happen.
This is a great idea, but yeah, I don't know if they're just ignoring Justice League now.
I feel like it because especially in Aquaman, they kind of did away with Justice League.
Yeah.
It felt like parts of the script did and didn't. You know, they were like, "This is the first time you've been here." Like, what about? Okay,
No, it's not.
whatever.
What are you talking about, guys?
Confusing.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up.
Oh, I forgot Pedro Pascal's in this. Speaking of the Mandalorian,
He's Maxwell Lord.
That's cool.
Gosh, I was looking for. Oh, hey. I can't remember how she says her name. Antiope is back in it again.
Oh, Robin
'cause
Wright.
she wasn't killed yet.
That's right. Themyscira, the Themyscira.
Yeah, because they go back there. I was looking for Kristen Wiig. Okay, so she plays Barbara Minerva. There's like several different versions of Cheetah, and so which one? Okay, Barbara Minerva. She's an archaeologist, and selfishly developed a passion for archaeology. Yeah, this is the one that she finds an artifact, something that should be okay. The caretaker of the ancient plant god Zerkakakarga. Yes. And she's told she would gain immortality. Her powers are conferred to her by ingesting a combination of human blood and berries.
Ew.
I don't know.
Yummy.
So, yeah. Either way, it looks like, because he's got like a weird MacGuffin thing, Maxwell Lord, in the middle of this trailer. I imagine that thing is probably how we got Steve there. It's probably how we got Cheetah becoming Cheetah, and it's probably about, whatever crazy thing Maxwell Lord's going to do.
Yeah, there's something weird going on.
So, it looks great, though. Hopefully that third act is good.
Yeah. Make up for that last one.
Yeah. I heard, let me see here if I can pull up my pocket. David Corin Sweat is a front runner to replace Henry Cavill, and he looks a little bit like him.
He does, actually.
A little bit in the face there. However, Cavill is so just huge. Like, of all the casting, I think Cavill's was dead on for Superman because he looks like him. I mean, I didn't really like the movie so much. It was definitely the one that probably the best Superman movie outside of the original Reeves one. But yeah, and he still says he wants to. Cavill still says he wants to play the part, but apparently he has kind of parted ways with whatever DC wanted to do at this point in time. So
yeah, he already's in like other things.
So this is a rumor, and so
it's just a rumor.
But I've seen it on a lot of places that were legit. So at first I was like rumors, and then I see so it's in more than just place, normal place. So he might be replacing Superman at some point in time, but I wonder if they'll continue with the.
I wish I could find it because I saw that report of like DC having a hard time figuring out how to make like Superman relatable or something.
Yeah.
And then someone fixed it on Twitter and it went kind of viral.
Yeah.
And they were like, this and this and this. That's it. And everybody's like, oh my God, yeah, that's it. It was kind of something like, like poor Midwestern kid has to stand up to like rich, like corporate overlord or something like that. So, something very political, but like pretty, like relatable, kind of what's happening. It's like, oh yeah, that's how. Or just give it a break for a while. Like,
well, I mean, they kind of gave it a break for quite a while. I don't understand how you screw up Superman. I just don't.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be kind of like the Boy Scout, the person that's always good, but he also has the amount of power to just destroy everything.
Right.
So he's got to kind of always be on his guard, even around his friends and family or whatever. So it's just, and then you got him, and then you got Batman is the total opposite, where he'll do whatever it takes to get it done, with the exception of, I guess, using guns. But
yeah,
but
which is weird, yeah, because in like alternates, they have Batman with guns and stuff. It's weird,
but
it's true.
So they're supposed to be like opposites of the each other, opposite cities.
Exactly, except for that one movie where they were right across the lake from each other.
Well, that's what I guess it's supposed to be. They're supposed to be sister cities. So they're supposed to be like, oh, that's the dark. That's, Simba. You don't go over there. So Gotham is not a good city. That's the Jersey of. Sorry for anybody who lives in Jersey.
Yeah, true.
Nobody's sorry for people who live in Jersey.
Like, so what?
What movie did we see recently where they're like, crap, what was it? they ended like they're like, and then this happened in New Jersey.
It was a trailer we saw.
It just said it like,
Oh no, it was like this guy like drops down to the ground and he's like this dramatic thing, and then it's like Jersey, like one of those timestamps.
Oh, it was Doctor Sleep.
oh, okay.
We saw Doctor Sleep, and like all this crazy stuff was happening, and it was like happening in Jersey or something. I forget what character it was though.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I don't know why they keep screwing up Batman. I mean Superman. Well, Batman too. I
Yeah,
guess.
Batman too.
They have so many great characters, so many like, I don't know, cornerstones of the freaking DC universe.
Yeah.
And I don't know how. It's just like fat. I don't know how they keep messing it up.
So seeing this comment about like, so the DC films, the quote is, studio reportedly unsure how to make the character quote unquote relevant to modern audiences. And someone commented on here that like, it's because DC execs don't know how to make someone who's not rich relatable. Or like they keep doing Batman because he's rich. Got to remind people that rich people are heroes. Like, and but I mean, I know that's like really opinionated, but like I kind of get that because it's been a long time since they played into like where Superman came from without being an origin story, you know? Mm-hmm. Like he's not some eccentric billionaire or something, like very humble.
Yeah, they barely placed him in that Man of Steel movie. They barely placed him in Smallville at all. So.
Yeah. And then the only attachment he has is his like dead father, and then every once in a while his mom and stuff. But like they don't ever go down like his hometown route. Like what values of being in a small town would have been good for you as a god like hero, you know, and stuff.
Yeah.
That's how you make it relatable.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit, coming from a small town in Indiana where, my neighbors were had giant cornfields and whatnot. Like, there's a whole part of the Lord of the Rings at the end of it where they were talking about hobbits they're just like normal people basically, and they just like to see things grow. They just like the green. They like everything else, and I feel like that's kind of people in the cornfield. Like they have a respect for life that's a little bit different. It's not so fast moving, So it's kind of it's kind of a different ideal as opposed to living in the city, which I've now lived in both.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird being the fish out of the water for a while.
I want to make one of those memes of like, people are like, some of you didn't have a dad to beat you and it shows or whatever. And like, I want to make one of those memes. It's like, or someone didn't have a dad to ask you to help in the garage, yell at the flashlight or whatever. And it shows. I want to make one that says like, some of you didn't have to husk corn as like a 13-year-old job. And it shows. Because I feel like people say like everybody should work in retail, should work in food service and stuff just to get like a sense of how the world is and stuff. Corn husking is one of those things like I don't think anybody outside the Midwest thinks about, but it like shapes you as a kid to like how much of this to make how much money, like
Yep. It was like that Napoleon Dynamite thing where they're like, I made like 30 cents.
Yeah.
I did that too for a summer and got yelled at, like screamed at and thrown. It was like the craziest working ever. I don't even know if they do it too much often because there's a lot of smaller farms that do it. Like they basically, when you're doing detasseling, is they take the top of the corn off so that it can be, I think, fertilized.
Detasseling, yeah. Well, and also they look nicer when they get to the store and stuff. Like
I don't know. So like
it's just less mess.
And they have machines for it, but they don't do as good of a job as if like you actually hand did it. But if you're doing a lot of it, then it doesn't really matter. Anyway, they would hire like 8th graders or something to go out into the field.
Sometimes younger. I mean,
I don't know if you're allowed to hire younger.
Well, you're not even allowed. At the age we were at, no way it was on record.
Yeah,
because it was before.
I got a W-2 for it.
Oh, see, I
don't know.
I did because the first job on record I had was at the high school as a summer job, and in like the IT thing to help the computer guy and stuff. But that was even under the schoolwork program. The first job I had outside of school was Walmart, and even that had restrictions. So like the time I was detasseling corn, it was like completely off the record. Like you go get paid cash with the day workers and stuff.
That'd be nice. I wish I would have gotten paid cash. But you walk down these aisles of corn and they yell at you to walk faster and pull these corn things faster. And if you don't have like gloves on, which fall apart by the way, you cut your hands up.
Yeah, no, your hands are just ripped up.
And you get rash and all this other crap. It's not fun at all.
And it's hot because it's always in the middle of summer.
Yep.
And then you go but then you go to the county fair and they do the grilled corn. You're like, respect the corn. Like don't eat every bit of that and don't throw it away. Like
that's why these kids became children of the corn.
I forget how we got on that.
I don't know. It's Superman. I think,
making Superman relatable, like
small town.
Because he's from a small Midwest town, like a farm, and they don't know how to make him relatable. It's it's like you take the values that would have been good, because there's obviously like a lot of bad things about coming from a small town, but take whatever good things there are that make it strong for you once you're a powerful person.
Yeah.
Like what there's not lately, there hasn't been a lot of that. It's just like Superman's evil because he doesn't want to be powerful anymore. It's like, or he doesn't like people like hating him and stuff. It's like, I mean, that works for like individual stories, but to make it like an overarching like 3 or 4 movie deal, that's weird.
I feel like that origin story for him should be told over many movies, or at least a couple, because it's just too like, hey, we're here, planet explodes, goodbye, you're here, you got to grow up here, hey, this or that. And along the way, they have to like shove a bad guy in there, and you're like, what the heck, man? It's just too much. That's why I liked Smallville for the first few seasons, and then obviously got more and more CW-ish.
I don't know why they just didn't do Lex Luthor as the bad guy and not this like abomination that I feel like DC, they're always like, we need this like thing that's unbelievable. It's like, yeah, but I mean, even in the comics or even in Smallville, a television show, like Lex was the bad guy, and it felt like that, and it felt good because we had like a cohesive story being told.
I saw some theories that they may not want to touch that very recently because the Lex Luthor Superman dynamics like very reminiscent of like the Trump, essentially anybody that is like liberal.
I don't know about
like,
that because I think Lex Luthor is extremely intelligent.
That's the thing. That's the thing though. It's like what was the thing where like Lex Luthor when he became president, he sold his corporation. Like he's literally less evil. Like
I don't know if he's evil as much as he is a doofus.
But the thing is like I think that was one of the things they're like, well, if we do this and we make him the bad guy, it's a little too close to like evil corporate overlord, small town superhero kid overtaking stuff. But I think everybody would be down for it. They'd be like, take that guy down, But also like the people who are paying for the movie are corporate overlords.
Yeah,
it's just
that's how I feel about DC in general. Whenever they do their casting, where it's like, hey, who did really, and I know that every movie probably does this. So like, oh, hey, we're looking for someone that's well known. Plus, and then they fit these descriptions after this. Who's hot right now? Finn Wolfhard, obviously, but he doesn't fit the Superman persona. Okay, that's fine. But I feel like DC does that the worst. Like, I think they almost straight up said like, we chose Ben Affleck because he did Argo and he did this or that, and he's just really hot right now, guys. Like, he wasn't awful. He definitely wasn't the worst part. And I liked him in the end as Bruce, but definitely that weird chubby looking kind of Batman thing was a little different.
I saw a meme of Christian Bale and him next to each other. Did you post that?
Was me. Yeah. Or like before Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving is what it was.
It's ridiculous.
I love Affleck. I love him to death in so many different movies. I just didn't think he fit that role, and I don't think he fit Daredevil either. But
dude, Daredevil's rough. But Daredevil and like Elektra, those were like those quintessential like early 2000s movies. Where like I remember that like if they come on like if TV were still a thing. And I just had it rolling in the background. If it came up, I would be like, okay, let's leave this on in the background while I do my chores.
Yeah. Well, it's you get all those superhero movies that came out there at the time, like X-Men and all the Spider-Man and whatnot, and Blade and everything else. And like you could just see the CEOs. I always envision them with like this giant cigar. All right, boys, what's next? What else can we exploit? How about Daredevil? Okay. So I don't know. I don't mean to be hard on anybody. I mean, it's really weird because, like, I joke about people on the podcast or whatever, but I really enjoy a lot of these actors or whatever else. So, no hate against any of them.
Yeah, I mean, Ben himself is just an amazing actor. I mean, I may not have, like you said, dug him as Batman as much as I have previous Batmans, but I mean, Good Will Hunting still like an amazing movie.
I love that movie to death. I even like he did this like
Dogma.
funny.
Even Dogma is a fun movie.
Oh yeah. Did you ever see Reindeer Games?
Yeah.
It's like a funny like 90s like ish action movie. He was great in it. And it's just it has a great like funny ending, and it's like it's good. I mean, he does a lot of great stuff. So
I think to me too, Ben Affleck's Batman, his Batman was like fine. It was whatever. It was just a blank canvas. And then his Bruce Wayne, like you said, was like really great.
Yeah.
That might also have been part of the writing too, though. Like now that I think about it, there was nothing I can't remember anything from Batman besides Martha.
Yeah.
Like it just might have not been an exciting character. They didn't bring enough to me, like to be rooting him on.
Exactly.
So same with Superman. Like I remember in the Christopher Reeves Superman and stuff, they were like, you were rooting for me, like get Lois, save the world, rewind time, like all this. Like there's so many things I wanted him to do.
Well, I know I've talked about it before. It's essentially like a hopeful movie. He's a hopeful character. Where he's like, it's bright, it's hopeful, it's you got the USA colors in it. Like that's
You could tell he's trying.
Yeah, exactly. And they made it as Snyder that did that Men in Black, the Man of Steel movie, and it's just so dark. I think even someone online, you can go online and see like a color corrected version of it, and you're like, oh wow, this automatically feels just a little bit better.
Yeah, I think that was like a kind of like a repercussion of like the vibe of everything. Like I guess like having, like I said before, like having one story where Superman's like, oh maybe I don't want to do this is fine or whatever, but to have it like be a several film arching thing, man, that's like the drag. Like
to think that they thought that was going to work too. Like I don't know. I guess you just really don't know what people are going to latch onto. I mean,
it's a Captain America thing too, where it's like they both just have that that duty to their fellow man kind of thing, to where they just can't stop. Yeah. So like that's that's what it is. And I even in this new, and we'll transition over here to the CW Crisis on Infinite Earths, they got Superman in it, and he's off like with Lois having so they had a baby, and they're on in a place where he doesn't have his powers or whatever, and it's about ready to get like smashed by like heads up anybody, we're talking about the Crisis on Infinite Earths storyline that CW is doing right now. If you don't want to hear it, sorry, we're talking about it. It's only the first episode though.
I haven't seen any of these. I also won't watch them.
I haven't seen them. I'll probably watch them, but I haven't seen any yet.
So yeah, he's he quit being Superman in this. Okay. So you're like, well, why? Like, why'd you quit being Superman? And the whole thing was like, oh, Kara, I think you could be great, like as Supergirl. Like you can be better than Superman. Like, whatever. And so Superman's off, having a baby with Lois, and so it actually follows the comic. At least this first episode, they smash as much into the comic from the comic into this as they can. In fact, this whole episode is just so smashed with stuff. Like my kids don't know anything about this. My wife too, as we were watching it, and it was just like constant crap just being thrown at you. Jeez. And like it was constantly jumping back and forth between like Earths. So Earth 41, Earth 42.
Oh, because it's a multiverse story.
Yeah, it's a whole multiverse. The multiverse is being destroyed by a big giant wave of antimatter sent by the Anti-Monitor. You have the Monitor is a good guy. It's like Anti-Monitor is a bad guy.
It's like his fart. Must send antimatter to destroy the multiverse.
It's like the fart from
dark matter.
What, Rick and Morty or whatever.
Brown matter.
So it's just jumping all over the place, and it was kind of fun to see it. But it had all these characters, and it's going to have a lot more. You see the original Robin from the '66 series.
Oh wow!
He's in like a weird looking shirt that's reminiscent of the colors, and he's this kind of like short fat guy, and he's like, holy cow, Batman, or he doesn't say, I don't think he says Batman, but he says something like that.
Like the normal
exactly
phrases.
And as he sees the red thing destroy his Earth or whatever, so this thing's just coming through, plowing through Earths. And
I have a question.
Yeah.
What was the Mandalorian / Halo looking character in this series? Have you seen all of them yet? Mm-mm. Okay, because there's a trailer where he's like a green masked, all green everything actually, and he like falls and blows up.
I think that's from Supergirl, like an episode. She fought some guy. I don't know if it was not Zod, but one of those acolytes or whatever of.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just have to watch it.
I know that they had those couple people that were still Kryptonite or Kryptonians. I think that was maybe one of them. I'm not sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was interesting.
Big fan of any of those.
So what were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying, like, this episode just is. It's supposed to be 5 episodes, right? And it's a crossover. So every day of the week, a new episode comes out, which is kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that you weren't supposed to wait, 3 months for it. But Rod just told me that like they're going to show 3 episodes, and then you got to wait for like a month and a half before you see the last 2.
January 14th are the final 2 episodes.
Yeah. And then you got to wait a month.
Makes sense as far as scheduling, like where we're at in this year and scheduling. Season. But what sucks is they could have released it like
one right after the other.
Well, earlier, and then we wouldn't have had this huge holiday break. They put it right out in the middle of a holiday break.
I guess, but I mean, what difference would it made if it had been like what is happening right now, right?
Yeah.
So what would difference been make the rest of this week as opposed to like 3 weeks from now?
I just figure it's a cliffhanger to get people to continue.
Yeah.
Plus, like, doesn't all television stop?
I don't know,
or like
does
they
it stop
stop
on
airing
Thursday?
a bunch of things. I'm just for some reason I just remember like around this time of year, all the shows stop, and then there's like remember that commercial like, "Are you suffering from show hole?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
That all happens this time of year.
Yeah, that used to be true, but not like now. Like the Mandalorian's last episode is going to be 2 days after Christmas,
Yeah.
so it's like
So it's different
and the
now.
week before Christmas, and like Rick and Morty skipped Thanksgiving, but they had something come out like yesterday or something.
Which is weird because you think with everybody being home and hanging around and being like, well, we're all together and I got nothing else better to do after I've eaten like 3 pies.
And
I'm just going to watch some
34th
TV.
Street Miracle like 17 times.
Exactly. Like, why don't I watch one of my favorite shows or the new show that came out?
Right.
I mean, you know who Bert Kreischer is?
Uh-uh.
He's like a comedian, and he did this. You ever seen? Gosh, I'm gonna jump it around. Ryan Reynolds was in this movie called Van Wilder.
Oh yeah, that's where most of us got to know him the first time.
Okay, Bert Kreischer is that guy
Okay,
in real life.
Oh, it
It was
based
based
on?
on him.
Gotcha.
In fact, and he apparently whoever did the movie was supposed to like either have him in it or he was a writer on it. He stole the story from him. He didn't get any money from it.
Oh wow.
And so he's a comedian. He's been around forever, but he didn't get big. So they did, and they eventually he got like a Showtime like comedian special or something, and nobody was watching him. And over like a weekend, I don't know if it was Christmas weekend or Labor Day weekend. It was a weekend when like nothing's on, nobody does anything, and he got like the okay for them to like release a little bit of it, and he accidentally released the entire thing of his.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it that weekend because it just popped up on my Facebook, and I was like, oh, cool. And it was like the most hilarious thing I'd ever seen. But like, it was because there was nothing going on that weekend that I watched that.
Yeah.
And so I don't know why these people,
I think
that was a long story, but
I think it's like a numbers game because like for YouTubers traditionally like the week of like Thanksgiving, the week of Christmas and New Year's is also a slow time. So you either put up like B content or nothing at all or whatever.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, if you're a smaller channel and you put something up, you have a better chance of getting bigger numbers because none of the bigger guys are doing stuff. So
Exactly.
it's like a push and pull. So maybe, like DC won't put anything out, but or maybe I don't know. See, I don't.
So
Maybe
maybe the
that's the
smaller
thing.
version,
Maybe,
wouldn't they?
if Marvel doesn't put anything out, then DC should because I think it's the. I
that
don't
would
know.
make sense to me.
Literally have a opening.
Because I was talking to Rod and Vince about last week. It's like we've been doing really good as a podcast, like growing. And then last week when there was nobody was listening, and I think podcasts are a little bit different from television because you sit down and watch television. I think podcasts you're more likely to like be driving around or doing your laundry or something. And so, but yeah, we got
pooping.
Our pooping.
And I don't know why like the holidays are necessarily like slower because like you said, like you'd think you'd have more free time, but I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if there was actually any actual theories out there, like because in my head I'm thinking like, well, is it because people are tied to like habit? Like maybe your habit is like, okay, I go to my job on my way home, I listen to podcasts or like watch a show when I get home and stuff. But when you have all the free time in the world, I'll put it this way. So like one of my friends, former friends, like wives, dads, that's the long story. Old guy that retired. He made a joke about how like he's like my oil's been needing to be changed for over a year. They were like, holy crap, what is the problem? Do you need somebody to take you? And he's like, no, he can do it himself. He's like, before I was retired, it always got changed in time. Now I can do it any time, and I just don't because there's no deadline for it.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, for he's like 50 years, my car's oil was always changed on time, and then as soon as I retired, it's never on time. So I wonder if like because it's almost like that habit. So like I wonder if it's like, yeah, I have all this crazy stuff going on, so I'm more considerate of like all the things I put into that time. Like I watch this show, I do this, I listen to this and stuff. But then like when you're just free, I'm like, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to, and I just don't do anything.
Well, I feel it's a little bit similar to like movie execs or TV execs or execs in general. I don't feel like they're very smart in general. So I feel like they're kind of stuck in what they always have done. And we're just going to keep plowing through this until we make the money back. I take music execs or for example, or even, television stuff. I'm sure lots of network stuff's dying off because people are watching Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever it else is. And so, or at least there's not as much as what there used to be. And so
They need some new blood.
We need to do this and we're going to tease it and we're going to release it in January and they'll watch it then. Like, I just feel like sometimes they don't know.
It's execs but just a lot of people in general. I feel like don't take the correct lessons from things.
Yes.
So like when Logan and Deadpool got to be like super successful, they're like, oh, rated R action movies, let's do that. And it's
Or
like
Batman, like, ooh, dark everything.
So it's like, okay, well, rated R was a byproduct of a good movie. Deadpool would not have been a good movie unless it was rated R. Logan had to be rated R for what it was. So like forcing a film to be rated R is not going to be the thing that. And I think Deadpool's 2's re-release kind of proved that. They're like, we made a PG version,
and it did well.
And it's like because it's they played to it, you know.
Yeah,
it never made sense to why people just don't realize that it's a story.
Yeah,
It has nothing to do with like you said, rating or anything else. Well, it has to do everything with the story.
Well, even like other contents, like with YouTube videos and stuff. There's YouTuber friends are like, oh, I reviewed this like iPhone or something, so that's and then that blew up, and that's what it's going to be. So, well, A, obviously you can't do that every week or every day or whatever, but B, like there's something else there that you're not seeing that you need to figure out what people are going to. Because like when I like think about people who do like review or reaction stuff, it's not always like, well, they only do PlayStation stuff or something. There's something about what they so I won't watch every video, but I'll pick out things like, oh, that seems like a subject I like from them. There's something else that I can't even really identify as a viewer.
Sorry.
But if you're in like a bigger business of content, like someone on your team should be able to figure out like, what's that thread? Like, I did iPhone, so maybe I should do like the MacBook or something, or or maybe I should just do something. Maybe it's not even Apple. Maybe it's something else in your line of brand or whatever. And then music, people are like, oh, like sad songs work for you. It's like, yeah, but you can't
just keep doing sad.
But
they just don't know. I feel like they don't know the characters. Sometimes they don't know the plots, and they just like what you're saying. They just kind of what was good last time. Put money on that.
Like personally, I would watch the same character over and over again as long as the stories were just as interesting as the character.
And I don't think that it necessarily matters from the actor as long as they do a good job as the character.
Like I wouldn't watch a movie of Superman. So you got Superman's a character, but the story is he goes to the bathroom and then he like goes sits on the couch and watches a movie. Like, but I would watch something that was super interesting, right? So
Unless
I don't necessarily think
because
it's the character. I think it's the story that makes everything. The character helps that though, because Superman is popular, Batman is popular.
Actually, it's kind of funny. So for Christmas, Vince got me Ronin Warriors on DVD.
Nice.
So it was funny though, because we were like, oh wow, is this? Because even he says like, I don't know if this is going to be right because there's so many things. It was in between. The actual episode is the Ronin Warriors American Unchanged. For whatever reason on the DVD, they put the Japanese intro and outro.
Okay.
On everything. Sure.
Yeah.
So right now, like a little like when I'm waiting for other stuff to get done, I have a little pet project where like I'm like replacing the intros and outros.
Yeah.
And there's 39 episodes, so it's not gonna happen anytime soon. But it's just like in the future, I'll have my full childhood experience.
Real thing.
But I'm bringing that up because of the stories. Like I'm excited to watch this as an adult because I don't even remember what the story was. But I remember as a kid, every time it came on, I watched it because I wanted to know what happened next because it wasn't like the Power Rangers format where you know exactly what's going to happen every episode.
It's the same
it wasn't
thing.
that I remember. It was like they were going through the story and then it just happened to like until next time, like it was like X-Men or something.
Yeah.
So like I want to see like what happens.
Continuity, you had to follow everything.
Yeah. This is like 13 hours of it, so it's going to be quite a minute. Amount of viewing.
Well, in this Crisis thing, they had some of the stuff from Titans even in it. They had like a picture from. I was like, oh wow, I didn't know that they would try to cross over this a little bit. I don't know if they're going to include them at all. It was like Hawk and I think Robin, Tim Drake, Robin. But we were talking about the characters and whatnot got to be fit, and I remember seeing just the initial reaction to like most of those characters as the Titans characters is like they're not the same. Like they're not even anywhere close. But Captain America, to where I'm looking at him going, oh man, he looks, he's the same dude as in the Human Torch. That's gonna be weird. And then like he rolls up and like kills it, and you're like, oh okay, I accept this. But the guy comes out, I think that was playing Dick, and he's like, F Batman, and like all this other stuff, and like, oh, this is too weird.
Yeah.
I'm a little actually not even worried. I know this is happening, so I'm just bracing myself. We're hitting like this stint of multiverse, everything.
Yes,
and it's still sort of exciting, but I'm already starting to get tired of it.
It's just such an easy
time and
way
all
to get
multiverse.
convoluted.
You're going to get sick of both of them because everyone's going to do it.
The Spider-Verse stuff was like, wow, what a fresh idea. If this happens again, I hope it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
So Spider-Verse 2 is like, let's see what happens.
Exactly.
And then Crisis, and then, the MCU is, they're clearly going to the multiverse.
Of madness,
So it's like, well, at least Marvel's going to do it right, we hope. Or if they screw it up, the Infinity saga was amazing.
Yeah. Well, the whole point of the Crisis on Infinite Earths thing, and I kind of understand it, and I hope that this is what they do, but the whole point of the Crisis on Infinite Earths comic book was their everything got just crazy out of whack. Like all the continuity was nuts. And so they're like, guess what we're going to do? We erase all the other worlds except for this one, and we combine them all. And so that's what they do. And so they just blow everything all up, and they live in a pocket dimension for a little bit, and then they come back. And so yeah, I hope that this doesn't continue, because even the Flash is like, hey, let's go to Earth 42 and pick up this other dude. And there's a guy that was always the same character, but they just he just played as different versions. Like, let's go get Harold from Wells from Earth 42, and he's like a gunslinger or something, and then like he come back and he's like some weird like metrosexual like smart watchmaking kind of guy. Okay, well, we'll make this little thing, and like
God,
and he's just constantly Wells is like 20 different people all the freaking time, and it just started getting really annoying.
I guess it's kind of because of his character. It's just funny, maybe.
Yeah, it's just become like a thing that they do.
The outcome is usually fun if there's good writers. Like the What If series sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
but like that element of like, oh, multiverse is just like, man, I already can tell I'm getting tired of hearing that, because that's kind of what Stranger Things is too, when you think about it.
What do you mean?
Like they heavily imply that the Upside Down is just an alternate universe,
future or something.
Well, maybe even current, like, because like I was mentioning to Josh off mic that there's a show called Beyond Stranger Things that's on Netflix that's after season 2, and it's basically a podcast with the cast, and they had Bill Nye on to explain the Upside Down, and he basically explained was multiverse, and Upside Down and Hawkins are two universes, not colliding but overlapping,
are on top of each other.
And so, well, not even on top of it. He like drew like it started off as like a flower, and then the two petals started overlapping like a Venn diagram.
The first thing I thought of was over top of each other is the two circles.
Oh, yeah, like the Venn. So like
that would be over top.
So like the Venn diagram, like, so that there's like the space between the common space they had between was the void. That they went into in the second season, I think, or first season.
First season, I think they went into it.
Yeah. But it's like, okay, so we haven't recognized it there yet. So far they've done good about writing around it, but that ends up being like the big reveal. It's like, it was an alternate universe the whole time. Like, well, we already knew that.
Duh.
What else?
Which we watched that last episode, and they go feed the Russians. Are obviously opening the portal again, and they feed the dude to the Demogorgon or whatever.
Yeah.
But before they go feed that dude, they're like, hey, no, not the American. This other guy. And you're like, Hopper.
Well, so people had mentioned that, but they're like, they think it's Papa.
Papa, who's?
The guy that created 11.
Oh, the Brennan or whatever?
Yeah. Because he's not, they mentioned he was dead before, but they didn't say he was.
That's weird,
and he'd be the one to be able to show them how to open up another portal.
I don't feel like he's like the guy that was a smart guy. I feel like he was just like the bad guy in charge.
I don't know. But like but then if it is Hopper, that would make sense, because he went in.
He blew out the other end.
Yeah. And stuff. And they referenced him as the American earlier.
Yeah.
And stuff. But I don't know. I thought it was funny. Someone made up a thing, speaking of the Black Widow trailer. They're like, so the Hopper gets captured by the Russians, and they turn him into the Red Guardian,
Oh gosh.
and then he becomes Alexei, the person he hated from the first.
I think I put a meme like that. It's like, in Stranger Things, Hopper beats up on Alexei, and Black Widow, he is Alexei or something.
That was so funny, because I accidentally discovered that after season 3, I went to go like look up what everybody was doing, and I was like, oh wait, Hopper was Alexei? Oh wait, no, that's something else.
Yeah.
Like
Red Guardian.
Confusing.
Which, was another trailer that just dropped last week. We were just lucky enough to have it on the podcast as well. This week has been trailer drops. It was really funny. Last thing here. Stargirl is like a new show that they were trying to do on DC Universe. And that whole DC Universe thing has been up and down, and who knows what's going to happen to it in the future. But they're still trying. Anyway, they dropped a trailer today and then immediately got rid of it.
Oh, wow. Was it that bad?
It looks really cheesy, but like, it's just DC dropped the trailer and then pulled it. And I don't know if it was because it's still
like
up on YouTube.
We're
gonna look at it real quick.
Like people re-uploaded it.
Yeah, well, all those people, they're like, I don't know if it's Emergency Awesome or whoever it is, but they like re-upload trailers just to re-upload them. I don't know. But it's a Stargirl trailer.
Sounds like a thing.
Yeah. Well, like you click on it, like which trailer is the actual trailer?
Yeah.
So we'll watch this one real quick so we can make fun of it. I'm joking, but maybe not.
I don't know anything about Stargirl.
Yeah.
So is it supposed to be for like little kids? No, I mean I was serious because like.
Well, it's on DC Universe, so I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Because like that, I was like, if this is like a Hannah Montana crowd or something, like that looks fine.
This DC Universe, I don't think that's going to happen. Everything in DC Universe is gritty and.
I love how they don't give you anything though.
Yeah, I don't know anything about.
That didn't help me at all. Yeah, like.
I don't know. It looks like CW Stranger Things. I don't know. Like their outfits and everything. It just
the last
weird.
shot was cool. Except she looks like she's 8, but.
Yeah, it's weird because she's a relatively new superhero, like 1999.
Okay.
Pretty brand new. And so her stepdad is Stripe. So it was for a while, it was like Stars and Stripes. And then she became Stargirl because she was also given the staff, which also helps. So like originally her cosmic belt gives her powers enough as it is. And her stepdad is like Iron Man. So he has like a funny looking. It looks hilarious. He looks
Playboy
like
philanthropist.
No, definitely not that. But he definitely. I'll have to show you a picture of it. It almost looks like the Iron Giant.
Is it a tie into Star Labs? That whole thing?
I don't think so, but I don't know enough about DC. Here we go. Stripe. Oh gosh, Stripe DC. Give me a break. Pat Dugan. There he is. That robot. Looks really,
that's clearly like an Iron Man competitor.
It's Iron Man ripoff. So for a while it was Stars and Stripes, or Stars and Stripe, and then she became Stargirl just alone. And
that is a weird cover.
Yeah.
So is that her typical age?
Yeah, she's like high schoolish.
That's high school.
Well, I don't know.
That's
late high school.
Exactly.
That's
super late.
That's
like 5th year high school.
That's a choice. The way they depicted that cover.
Well, it's comic people in general.
Yeah.
I like they got the toys there. That's fun. We're looking at a Google search right now.
But I don't know. It looked really goofy to me. It could be good, but I mean, she was already in like a version of Smallville once. I watched and I was like, ooh, and it looks almost exactly like that.
Huh.
So I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it looked like it like I don't know. It feels like a kids show. I'm like, that looks fine.
To be honest, if it was a kids show, I think I'd probably be more interested in it. But if it's going to be another like a DC gritty, Titans angry, Swamp Thing.
It doesn't look like Stranger Things looks like way grittier, real than that,
But they got like the outfits almost either look 90s or they look, I don't know.
Huh.
We're playing up the high school thing again.
Interesting.
But I don't know, sure.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if that'll do good for them or not.
I guess these are supposed to be people we know, like if you're fans.
I don't know any of those people.
Because they line them up, so it kind of makes it look like, these are going to be like future heroes or something.
Yeah.
But also, something else? This setting that we're looking at, they're in front of like lockers in the hallway. It looks like a stage show version of like a high school hallway. Like that doesn't look like they're in a school.
Well,
it looks like
it's
they're on
green
stage.
Screen, yeah.
Yeah. The vibe it gets is like they're in like a production or something because it doesn't look like they're just standing in the hallway being spoken to.
Like, wow,
they're in a choir.
That high school has perfect hair lighting.
Exactly. Right there is beautiful. Then we got
hair light.
Looks like who's that guy? He was Doctor Who once.
I mean, props for representing what a high school kind of looks like, though. I mean, like as far as like people
in one shot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it's like this looks like they could be a group of friends.
They do look young enough to be in high school.
Yeah,
I'll give them that.
Young enough, and it's like a mixed group. It's not just like not everybody's like this middle like blonde haired white girl and stuff. Like it doesn't seem forced either. Like they just interesting.
It's like a Captain America-esque.
I would have assumed it was like a Captain America play, but I don't know.
The daughter of Captain America.
Huh, interesting.
It's just, I don't know. I don't know what DC was thinking back then. Yeah, that was in 1999. It's kind of weird.
Well, we'll see. I guess. Yeah, either they took it down because it was that bad, or they took it down because it wasn't supposed to go out yet.
I don't know.
Because
funny.
I know, like Mortal Kombat for one of the Combat League trailers, like when it was like a big secret, like who was coming out. Whoever who's doing marketing for Another Realm accidentally posted it for like a few seconds.
Oh yeah.
You could tell that they didn't know how to schedule stuff. Like they actually posted
accidentally hit it,
and then a bunch of screenshots came out, and then it was privated. Yeah. I don't think anybody was able to like re-upload it because it was so quick. But people got the screenshots of like the main cast. Like, and stuff.
It's so weird though. You figure they'd be like, boom, like download that ASAP because you can download YouTube videos like quick.
I guess. Well, also it was going to come out the next day.
Okay.
So like I think I don't know. Maybe they just did it so fast. Other people just didn't bother or whatever. But it was like that screen cap was all anybody really mainly cared about. You wanted to see the gameplay and everything.
Yeah.
But that screen cap was like, oh, this is when all these characters come out and these are the confirmed characters and stuff.
I've accidentally done that before. Like when I was like trying to upload a bunch of memes as like schedule them out or something. Like a schedule. We have a scheduler called Hootsuite. And so like I was trying to schedule some stuff out, and if you hold shift and hit return, it doesn't like hit send. But if you just hit return, I think it hits send. So it's like, dang it, send all these memes out already right now.
I do that once in a while with like texting. It'll be in the middle of a sentence, and then my thumb will hit enter. I'm like, that didn't make any sense. I'm just going to continue like nothing happened. And then like
I would throw shit at a wall if I spent like, would you spend like an hour doing all that?
It wasn't that, it was actually more like, I think it sent that specific one to like everything already. But I was like, well, I guess I just could put a new one for the next day or whatever it was,
In like my future home, I'm going to have a room where I just break things. So that anything that like pisses me off, I'll just go, I'll be back, walk in there, and then come back out.
room.
I'm good. I'm fine.
Dude.
I'm all right.
So a little over a year ago, Katie Morton had recommended like if I wanted like process anger, like go to a break room. And I didn't need to thanks to other stuff that was happening, but I was like, where are those things? Because I just want to like learn. And then a friend of ours went to one with her husband, and she posted pictures of it, and I was like, oh crap, where is that? And so I looked it up. Those are expensive. Like Katie,
you're probably making plates and
I
stuff.
saw one that was called the Rage Room.
that might have been it. Katie, she was like, spend $20, go break stuff. I'm like, that sounds good. It's like a massage, but the opposite, but then like this place was like, I think to break like a handful of bottles, it was like $60 per person.
Damn, I could do that in the backyard.
And then if you did it, like, then you could add things like add a set of plates for another like $30. And then like, you could say add a
We're
tire
in the wrong business
for $40 or something.
If people are paying for that, we are in the wrong business.
You just rent out
I
your
could go
apartment.
to like Goodwill and get like $100 for like of shit for like 4 months of breaking and make like ridiculous profit on that.
And it's weird because I think it was something short, like 15 minutes or something like that.
oh
like,
my gosh.
Like, let me look at this place up.
These rates are ridiculous.
I'd be scared I'd hurt myself, depending on what it was.
So
There has to
the
be
one
some
I
sort
saw,
of-
you were like in a hazmat suit.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I imagine there'd have to be ridiculous insurance for that.
what's funny is I think she went with her husband for his birthday, so I don't know what's going on there.
Because I've done stupid stuff like in high school that I was like, wow, why did I not get hurt in that situation? Or why did I not destroy stuff? I think in my first year of college, we were like mimicking some Green Day video that we saw where like they, I think one of them was drunk at a hotel room and he's like, Mike, we got to pay for that. And he chucked the TV out the window and it just destroyed it, everything. And then we did that. And it was in between like 3 or 4 vehicles outside, and it didn't hit anything.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like,
Lucky.
I don't
This
know
place
why
is
we
called
did it.
Rage Ground.
Rage ground.
But you see, like he was
All the rage.
kind of wearing like full coverage. But I mean, I guess maybe like sides of his neck or something. But I guess the idea is you're throwing straight forward.
Yeah.
But
Might as well just throw axes or whatever. Whatever those bars are.
Right.
Or just play arcades.
That's kind of expensive too, actually.
Is it?
The axe thing. I mean, I don't have a lot of money to myself, so I'm not going to spend like, even if it's $20 for like a half an hour, I would still consider like, man, $20 is like 20 tacos. That's like,
could get
4
21
days of eating that I'm spending for 1/2 hour of throwing axes that I could do in my backyard if I honestly wanted to.
okay, so the starting package is $60 per person. Okay, so this is more than I thought it was. So you get 4 beer glasses, beer tumblers, 8 martini glasses, and 16 shot glasses. But that sounds like it'd go very quick.
Yes, very quick.
That's like one swing.
And then that is for a single person. Then the most expensive is
Please be a printer.
$359.
Office space.
Yeah.
$359. And it just says 50 small items, 34 medium, and 16 large items.
Weird.
But it does say you can have up to 8 people in that room. But that sounds like it'd go pretty quick too with like 100
Also,
things.
That sounds even dangerous as well, having like 8 people in a room all breaking things at the same time.
Yeah. Do you have bats? Because that'd be really scary.
That would be something to film, actually, too.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
This is interesting. So then with whatever you book, for an extra $25 a box, bring your own stuff to break, which I guess cleaning fee. I don't
That'd
know.
make more sense.
But you still have to do the $60 thing to start. I don't know.
Well, this
we're
would
getting
be
on a
cheaper,
tangent.
and you could bring what you want. I mean, you can go to Walmart and get like a crap ton of plates.
But you still have to get the original package of $60.
That's fine.
And then
As long
do
as
the
someone just
25.
cleans it up for me, I suppose.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I like. You ever seen those videos where like someone was like trying to wash something and then they put it in the dishwasher and they start smashing it and then smashing more stuff on top of it and smash a dishwasher against like 10 dishwashers.
Yeah.
It just gets worse. I love those sometimes.
Yeah.
It's that one dude.
Is it the one dude?
Yeah. He always puts his like foot in there too.
Yeah. Mustard on top of
Yeah.
everything or
like
something.
eggs
Yeah,
and
eggs.
like ridiculous.
Oh, guys, we've come to the end.
Yes.
We got nothing else to do. We're gonna probably we'll have one next week,
Yeah.
but we're gonna stop for the Christmas season.
Break for the holidays because that's what everybody else does.
Yeah, I mean we've had so much news that it's
Yeah.
nice that every week some new news comes out. So it's kind of nice that everything that we release is somewhat new, and hey, this just happened. So I don't think there's gonna be a lot released except for maybe the Mandalorian stuff over Christmas. So. Next week we got one. What's that date?
The 18th.
18th. So we'll have one on the 18th, but we will not have one again until was it the 8th of January?
Yeah, because Christmas and New Year's both happen on Wednesdays when we usually release.
Yeah. So if you
Also-
see an upload, it's probably just going to be going, "Hey, just remember, we're coming back on the 8th."
That's a good idea, actually. We do a little cartoon or something. Like,
Hey, Rod, when's this come back?
Actually would be if you're listening, if especially if you're new, this is a good opportunity to go back to old stuff, listen to if anything seems interesting.
There you go.
Also, you can see the evolution of where it started.
Yeah, it's true. We tried a few things along this year. It's kind of crazy. I think this is about 46 episodes. I think we only missed a few weeks in the year. And definitely we changed things around. We tried doing video for a while. That just really wasn't working well. And I like sitting around my home better.
Yeah, this is nice. It's easy.
Don't have to worry
Easier.
about getting rid of all the noise of the cars driving by or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's like kind of a little bit of less work, don't you think?
Yeah. So thanks, guys, for being with us this year. And hopefully next year we'll continue.
That's right.
Yeah. Stay tuned next week.